Welcome back, guys. Today we get across another thing off our list. Actually, a few things in these next couple days. Taylor's here to help. I'm not sure about anyone else. They might show up. It will be spanned over the next couple of days, so you guys might see some new people here or there, but it'll probably mostly be the same people that have been helping out with these last, I think we're almost at 35 videos, guys, so actually maybe even a little bit more. But today on our list, we are going to do the roof rack is going to be our main focus, so I can cross that off already. But we're also going to be working on the pillars and headliners in the next couple of videos, so watch out for that. So I've got all the stuff laid out. I'm only going to be installing a single bike rack on my roof for now with a wind fairing and the crossbars and a couple other stuff. I'll be following an online guide, which I will link down below because it's going to be a lot of help. It's also where I ordered, I think I showed you guys maybe in a previous video or maybe just on my Twitter. There's these little brackets that will be holding my roof rack on because the stock ones are really, really weak. So I don't want to have my bikes up there and fall down. There's all the stuff we're putting on. There's the crossbars. Here's the things. Everything's with its own key. I'm not going to show you guys the number, but its own key, so I can unlock everything with one key, including these are landing controls, or control towers. These are, what are they? Landing pad 11s. So if you guys ever want to do this, the landing pad 11s are the ones you want as they mount to the brackets the easiest. You can do different ones, but definitely would recommend the 11s. They also have a huge feet, I guess, so they have lots of support. And then the 40-inch windshield, usually you'd run a 44, but they don't make them anymore, so I went with the 40, not the, I think they make a 52 also, but the 52 was way too big. And then we have the bike rack with the locks and the crossbars, which I will be shaving or cutting them down, whatever you would like to call it, to fit my roof a little bit nicer, because they are a little bit wide, but they're the smallest ones you can get. I do have the service manual, so it should make it a little bit easier knowing what stuff to pull out, but I will be leaving a lot of stuff out, like the sun visors, because there's another thing that's coming up that's going to be replacing them. Won't tell you what. And also the bigger sun handles. Yeah, it's a bigger sun visor, but the handles and all that stuff won't be there. Let's get started and see how this goes. We got the sun visors out. They're probably the easiest thing of this whole project. One out, but they're just screws here, and they just pry out. These you gotta pull back. The holy shit handles you gotta pull back, and then unscrew the little bolts there, and I have 4 of them. There's one back there, one where he's working on, and one the lights hold on. After that, it's the dome and this light. These are the easiest things to take out ever. I'm actually really surprised. You just, oh, and there goes the command start. It's literally just a couple clips. You just pry. There we go. And we have a pillar out. We got the pillars out, and the trim, or the headliner is falling right out now. Yeah. It's the only thing that's holding is this little black trim. So we're gonna go pull the headliner out and try to fit it through my door. I don't know how that's gonna work. I called in some more recruits, guys. You guys probably recognize them. Found it. So since the last time we've seen this car, things have already changed. It's got a new front bumper, new lights, and a new grille. The trunk got plugged because there's where the, did it have an old like wing or?
Yeah, my OEM spoiler had like holes in the middle and shit.
So that got replaced, and new tail lights. There it is. It looks so good, holy. After fighting for a bit with the roof, I guess they're the rain gutter guards, we finally got them off. I think I broke every one of the clips actually, but there's the like gutter, and there's these little like pin heads that it slides on, I just pulled the clips right off and broke them. But now I'm just cleaning it up so I can wax it so it protects it a little bit. One more thing before you can get to the brackets, on both the front and rear, the place to hold the handles, they're actually have this steel plate right here, and it just comes off. It's just screwed in there, you can't really see, there and there. There's 2 bolts on each side, pretty easy. But it's just to hold the handle. So there's the brackets that are the OEM ones. I'll show you when I pull them off, but that's where they're mounted. So there's here, and then there's 2 in the back in pretty much the same location. You unbolt those, the brackets come right off. So we're just about ready to put the new brackets in. So old bracket right here, it's made out of just stamped metal. And now we're gonna put the new brackets in these. So we're gonna use a little bit of silicone to make sure it's sealed like the stock did, or the factory did. And we're just gonna put it around the screws. Putting those bolts in and the silicone wasn't too bad. The difficult part was actually trying to find the place to drill the holes. I finally got the holes so the bolts can go in. They're much larger. I tried to drill them perfect and I kind of missed the spots in all but one. And even with the one, once I re-drilled it, it actually missed, unfortunately, so I had to drill it bigger. But I just also test fit, you can see the one right there, just to make sure that everything lines up perfectly. There's the standoffs, they're right there. And then the other ones are right there. I put the rack back in, or the rain gutter back in. Next is putting on the rack guy, actually putting on the landing pad. So we got to put on these landing pads, they're called. They're landing pad 11s, I believe I said that before. And they hold the roof rack to this, and they're bolted on completely. And then next we put on these. They're called control towers, and they're actually locked on, so it locks to the landing pads. And then the crossbars are locked in via this with bolts. Actually, it's bolted onto this and then it's covered up so you can't actually undo the crossbars. And then my bike rack locks onto that. So everything is super secure too. That's why I love this system so much. So we got the landing pads all tightened down. I use Loctite in every bolt just in case something falls out. And there they are, all 4 landing pads they're called. And they're actually quite strong. Like, you could shake the car. So next is putting in the little control towers so I can then mount the bar, which I will be cutting. I'm looking at, I'll probably be cutting off probably a couple inches at least to get it to fit better with the roof and to not have it stick out. I think it would stick out to like right there. It'll stick out way too far for my liking, so we'll be cutting those bars. Here's how easy it is to put in the control towers. Just slide them in there, squeeze, and they're locked in place. Then you just lock this and then no one can steal your crossbar. I just measured up the crossbars and here is how they look. This is the first time you guys will see the crossbars up. They look actually surprisingly well. As I said, the height is quite high, but that's most roof racks if you're gonna do this kind of application. See how much I have to cut off? It's quite a bit, unfortunately, but there's a little dot right there and that's where I'm cutting, so I'm cutting off a lot more than 2 inches, what I said originally, but it's just a little bit poking. So the cap sits about here, and then there's a little bit of area between the cap and that. So it's not really in the way. It also is completely flush with this. Like, you could take a ruler, but I didn't. I just eyed it, and I just used the tape to measure the distance here, find the distance here, and then I measure the same over there to find where I'm cutting. So it wasn't too bad. It should be pretty easy to cut through these two. I'm just gonna use like a pipe thing. I don't know what's the official name, but it like to score it so I can see the straight line and then use a hacksaw, because that should be easy enough. Ta-da! But the only thing that I just noticed now is the bars are exact same. They're the exact same length, but this landing, from this landing pad to that landing pad, it's a little bit wider than this landing pad to that landing pad. Not sure why, probably just the design of the car, but also it's higher if you look. I had to measure the height of the control towers because I thought they were different, but just because this one seems to be higher, so everything's going to be a little tilted, which is fine with me. Everything's locked in place now and nothing's moving anywhere. And then I actually had to cut these caps. If you see, you can't really see, but there's a cut in there so they fit in better, and then I siliconed them all so they shouldn't come off really easy. Yeah. That was the wind fairing. It wasn't too bad to install. Probably the worst part was tightening down those little, they're like gears inside. And I don't want to break them because they're probably plastic or whatever, but I wanted to get it nice and tight. So that was about the only issue. And then it comes with little clear pads. You can't really see them. They're under the little feet. There's only one thing that I have a slight worry about. It's the glossiness of the fairing itself. You can see it's quite glossy. It's giving off a lot of like glare, and I'm hoping not, but it might scratch really easily when you like put your bike up, or like bugs and stuff. When you're cleaning them off, it might scratch it. I hope that's not the thing, but we'll see with time. One more thing we have left, guys. It is the bike rack. I hope it's pretty easy. We're gonna see if I can do it in real time. If not, it'll be a time lapse. I'm putting it on the driver's side just to make it easier for me. And it'll probably look the best on the driver's side. Oh, don't tell me I didn't loosen it off enough. I thought that was gonna be good. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Oh, this bar is so far off. Okay, we're back. Turns out you gotta take out the lock and put the lock in after you have this all tightened down. So I'm just gonna center it by my eyes. It's good enough. And then just put it in, and it should. Again, this is why I like stuff when it has a torque number, because I don't know how far I should tighten that thing. Is that good? Does it feel secure? Shake my car with it. There. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. And then you put the lock in with there's a flat key, it's called control key. Oh, you can't even see me. It's called control key, and you just put that in. Like, let's see if I can do this without looking at the manual. This side, one of the ways. I want to say it's that one. There we go. Put it in like that, and then put your normal key in, and it's locked. No one can steal your bike, or your bike rack, and then your bike actually locks on with another lock here. So everything's locked together again. I think I've said that quite a few times, but it's one of the main features why I chose this rack in the first place, because the car is locked to the rack, or the control pads locked to the towers are locked to the poles are locked to this, so everything's nice and secure. And then the back, I was doing it right, didn't tighten it up enough in the first place, so tighten that down. I heard cracking. But there you go, guys. The right there. That is it for the bike rack, guys. So we installed the bike rack, got the brackets in, everything's secure and locked up, which is awesome. Usually you put in your plastics on the ABC pillar and also put your headliner in, but we're not gonna do that because we have plans for both those. You're gonna have to see what I do with those two things before we put them back in, so I would stay tuned. But anyways, that is it, so peace out and stay humble.